All right. Practice test 2. Here we go. So just like yesterday, we have an entire page is one problem. So the problem is this. We are going to find horizontal and vertical asymptotes, x and y intercepts, and the whole. All right. Whole page, one problem. Lots of points right here. What do we do first?
I suggest
Factor, factor, factor. When something factors in any problem, factor it. So here we go. Let's see, the bottom is kind of easy. This looks familiar. I haven't done this yet, have I?
no.
Okay. All right, so I can take a 2 out of the top. Right? So I'm going to have 2, and then x plus 3, x minus 3. But these cancel. And this is what I am ultimately going to graph. Everybody in agreement? Okay. Now, let's take care of that hole right now. It's a point. This is what canceled out, which tells me my x coordinate will be 3. Now I'm going to plug it in here. So I have 2 times 6 over -1. I'm putting in 3. So that's -12 over 3. So I've got a hole clear down here. Luckily, he's got plenty of room.
Where did you get the 12 from? The -12? Like how did
Plug
you
3 back into the problem. Okay. Anytime I know x, I get y by plugging in. All right. Now look at the box and tell me some other stuff that we know from the box. Horizontal is y equals 2. And Sam is looking right here. 2x over x. He could have looked right here. 2x squared over x squared. That's y equals 2. Good, Sam. All right, what else? The vertical is x equals 4 because that's what's going to make the denominator 0, right? All right, what about intercepts? They're points. How do we find them? We let something be 0. So if I go back to my original problem, not my original problem, my box problem here. If I put in zeros for the x's, what do I get? If I put in zeros for the x's, I get 6 over -4, which is -3/2. So my y value is -3/2. My y-intercept is -3/2. Oh my gosh, I was worried about you. And they just called you out for football?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, now I need my other one. So now I'm gonna take my problem and I'm going to let y be 0. Right? Or y be 0. And this cancels out and I solve that. What does x end up equaling?
Negative half.
Negative. No,
Oh,
guys,
sorry.
stop. 2x plus 6 equals 0. Solve it. Don't just take wild guesses. I mean, go ahead and guess, but the problem's it's a pretty big problem to mess up. Now that's it. So I can kind of see what's happening here. Don't forget about the hole down there. It's got to go through that too. And it's going to keep getting, I'm out of room. And as you go down your page, that's going to keep getting closer to that asymptote, right? A couple people stopped here on the quiz. Bad move. You're missing the other half of your picture, right? If you're down here, you're going to be up here. All righty. That is going to be one page of your test. So be ready. All right, now we got some inequalities to solve. Now there are two absolute truths with inequalities. You got to have a 0, and you're going to put dots on the number line and shake. Okay? So if we got to have a 0, then we're going to move over the 4x. Now I know I'm going to have a number line. And I'm going to have a couple of dots on that number line. How do I figure out where the dots go? I have to factor that. That's exactly right. I have to factor that. So this one's a little tricky. Just, it's easy. Take an X out. That's how you factor it. You take an X out. So where will the dots be if I pull out the X? At 0 and 4. Remember when there's a plain X, that is a 0. This one's a 4. That would be that number, so it's just 0. All right, let's pick a number except 0 and 4. 2, of course. So if we pick 2, it's right in here. So 2 would give me 4 minus 8. Is 4 minus 8 less than 0?
Yes.
And if that one's shaded, then these are not. Marco, have you been here?
Yeah.
I don't know, I marked you absent for some reason. All right, so negative 4 is less than 0. So what's my answer? X is between 0 and 4. Or I can use my interval notation and write it that way. Now this is a little tougher problem, but the guidelines are the same. Gotta have a 0, gotta put dots on the number line. Okay, so I gotta have a 0. I guess I'm going to subtract the 3. You haven't done a whole bunch of these,
Mr. McGinley's gonna email you.
huh?
I was with Mr. McGinley, he's gonna email you.
Okay. Okay, we haven't done many of these, but when we go to get our dots from the number line, there's going to be 1 from the numerator and 1 come from the denominator. You can't have two separate problems here. You have to put that all into one. So how do we make that happen? How do we combine these into the same fraction? You get a common denominator, right? So and that's easy. That's just going to be this one. So we're going to multiply by x minus 2. Now, do you see how they both have the same denominator? Yeah. So now I can combine everything. So I have x plus 4. Watch this, be very careful. This is going to be minus 3x plus 6. Which I can plot by terms, negative 2x plus 10. Right? Now, I have one numerator and one denominator now. So I'm going to have a number line and I'm going to get a dot for each. Well, the denominator dot's easy. 2. The numerator dot is also easy, but you might want to work it out. Negative 2x plus 10 equals 0. So 5. So you're going to have a dot at 2 and a dot at 5. 5 is filled in and 2 is not. Very good, Anthony. Remember, what do we know about dots that come from any denominator? Never filled in. Never filled in. Denominators can't equal 0. All right, let's pick a number that's not 2 or 5.
Negative 2.
Negative 2. So if I put negative 2 in, that would make my top 14 and my bottom negative 4. Is that bigger than 0? No. So negative 2 did not work, which means this is shaded. So my answer is everything between 2 and 5. 2 is open and 5 is closed. Okay?
So when you plug it in, it just has to make the equation right.
Yep. And if it makes it right, we shade it. If it doesn't make it right, we don't shade it.
So okay. So I plugged in 6 and like it's 9.
Plug it in right here. All right. Here we go. This one is the troublesome problem. Because while it starts off super simple,
Why is the 5 shaded on that one again?
what?
Why was the 5 shaded on that one again?
All right, so I got these 2 dots. So pick a number that's not those. 1. Now 1 is in here. So that's okay. Just pay attention to where you're shading. So 1 would give you 4 times 4. Is that bigger than 0? Yep, so we're gonna shade that. But because of that squared, now pick another number.
2.
No, okay, stop. We would never pick 2 if we had already picked 1. Because aren't they both in this region? And I've already figured that out. So now,
Stop.
Four.
Negative
four would be a good choice. So 4 gives me 7 times 1. Is that greater than 0?
Yeah.
All right, now pick someone besides Sam. Pick one out here.
Negative 4.
Negative 4. So negative 4 will be negative 1 times 49. Is that greater than 0?
No.
So that area is not shaded. Turns out both of these were this time. So what do I write down as my final answer?
X is greater than or equal to negative 3.
Exactly. X is greater than or equal to negative 3. That's all, because that's what's shaded up there.
I'm sorry about that.
Remember, your answer is just what's shaded. What do you think?
I knew it. 6 minus X, we can change the sign.
Yeah, you gotta get a 0, guys. You have to get 0. So we're gonna add X and subtract 6.
I would do no.
You can think about grouping, but it's not going to work. Can you anticipate it's not going to work? Because this parentheses would have a 4, and this parentheses would have a 6. It's not going to group. So if it doesn't group, what do we have to do? Synthetic division. And your guesses this time are going to be factors of 6, which 2 is one of those, over factors of 1. So I'm not even going to ask. I'm just going to do 2 because I know that's what you'd say anyway.
And then negative 2.
Yeah, this does not look good. I don't think 2's going to work.
Let's try negative 2.
So Sam says, or Anthony, somebody says negative 2. Oh, there we go.
It's always worse.
Now, what does that mean? That means that on my number line, which is going to have 3 dots on my number line, one of the dots is going to be at negative 2. Well, I don't know what the other ones are, so I'm going to wait a minute. But one of the dots is going to be negative 2. Now, where are the other 2 dots going to come from? X squared plus 2x minus 3. So I'm going to have a dot at negative 3, negative 2, and 1. Negative 2 was the number I guessed. Negative 3 and negative 1 came from there. Now this is where you really have to be paying attention, because you know you're going to pick a number and plug it in, but you got to plug it in to all of the factors, not just these 2. What is the third factor? What is the factor that would have given me that answer? X plus 2. So this is where you're plugging it, and that has to be negative. Don't forget about that factor right there. It's so easy to do. Alright, so, oh, let's pick 2.
Yeah, let's pick 2.
So 4 times 5 times 1 is 4 times 5 times 1 less than 0.
No.
No. So I am not going to shade this area. So I am going to shade this, not, yes. Remember, you can get away with doing just one check number and then alternating on every problem except this one. This one you have to do a lot of check numbers. Okay, so our answer is everything less than -3 or between -2 and 1 or in interval form. Oh, by the way, are those supposed to be open dots? Yeah. So there's my set answer up there. Here's my interval answer down here. That's a big problem. A lot going on in that problem.
No, dude.
Okay. Now, shift gears. This is not an inequality. So you're not getting 0 and you're not drawing a number line.
Or is this the?
You're getting rid of the denominators. You're getting rid of the denominators. So we have an X, a 4, and an 8. What common denominator could I multiply by to get rid of all of them? There are lots of choices. 8X would be the smallest choice, but there are lots of options. The whole point is whatever you choose has to cancel out the denominators. See how that worked? That's what has to happen. So you could use something besides 8X. You could use 32X. You could use 16X. There are lots of choices for you, but that has to happen. So now it's easy. I got 16/3. Oh, Lordy. Now, as big and bad as this looks, it isn't. You can do this. Factor this denominator right here. That's exactly right. The numerator doesn't factor, and I don't care. It's the denominator I need to get factored. So would you agree that's easy enough? Now what? I'm going to multiply by both parts of my denominator. So x plus 5, x plus 3, x plus 5, x plus 3, x plus 5, x plus 3. Why did I do that?
Make sure they all
To cancel, that's exactly right. Those denominators have got to cancel. So I have 2x and x plus 3 minus x squared minus x minus 10 equals 3x plus 5. So make sure that you have multiplied by x plus 5, x plus 3, and canceled, and the yours looks like this. Now, an easy place to make a mistake is right here. I wrote those parentheses in to remind myself that I am subtracting that whole thing, right? So what difference is that going to make? What if I didn't put those parentheses in? I would distribute. That minus goes all the way across. That whole fraction is minus. So, I got 2x squared plus 6x minus x squared plus x plus 10 and 3x plus 15. So I just did my basic distributive property.
Squared plus 7x plus 10.
Now let's clean it up. So x squared, 7x plus 10. Okay, what do you have to do now?
Factor the left.
We're not doing any factoring until we get it set equal to 0.
And subtract it.
So x squared plus 4x minus 5. I subtract the 3x and the 15. So Sam says I'm going to factor that. And I get negative 5 and 1. Beep, 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 beep. What happens if you put in negative 5 into the problem?
Zero.
That's an extraneous root. So your answer is just 1. Extraneous roots happen anytime the denominator is 0. You can never have a 0 in the bottom. All right. Now we got Jane building the shelter. What is our setup for Jane building the shelter?
1 over 4.
1 over alone
Alone.
plus 1 over alone equals 1 over together. So when you write your equation, it literally is going to look like this. You're only going to fill in 3 things. So, Jane's time alone is 4. Maurice's time alone is 6. What is their time together? Does it make sense to you where the 4 and the 6 and the x are? I need to solve this. So we got all those denominators. What would be a number we can multiply by? Lots of options.
12x.
12x would be 1. There are others. Just pick a number that when you multiply, you can cancel. The 4 will cancel, right? And leave me with 3x. The 6 will cancel and leave me with 2x. And the x's cancel and leave me with 12. So 5x equals 12 and x equals 12/5 hours. Okay? And then our review problem. How much 54% must be mixed with 6 quarts of 45% to get a 49%. Does all that make sense to you? Right? So we have 0.54x. You're gonna have a calculator, make sure you remember to bring it. Oh, shoot, what goes in here? X plus 6, or 6 plus x, whichever way you wanna write it. Be careful with your decimal points. When we subtract 49 over here, we actually get 0.05. And we subtract 270, we actually get 0.24. Right? Which is what? What is that? Is that 4.8? And that would be quarts. I don't know about the arithmetic. You can use your calculator to double check that. Actually, I have the answers, I think. Yeah. Okay. All right, well, what do we have to do now?
Oh my God.
What? You knew you were gonna have it.